Hi everyone. Today we'll be talking about our cloud computing mini project, which is about Text Analyzer. So Text Analyzer is an app that takes as input some text and it analyzes the text based on some parameters like toxicity or sentiment analysis or context analysis. These are our team members. We have made the project using Python and Flask. Flask is a small and lightweight Python web framework that provides useful tools and features that make creating web applications in Python very easy. It gives the flexibility and is more accessible framework for new developers. Flask is also very extensible, that is, we can accommodate any new changes in Flask very easily because it does not force a particular directory structure or require complicated code before getting started. It uses the Jinja template engine to dynamically build HTML pages using familiar Python concepts. Next, we have used RESTful APIs in our application. So a RESTful API is an application programming interface that conforms to the constraints of REST architecture style, and it allows for interaction with RESTful web services. So REST stands for Representational State Transfer. RESTful APIs are stateless, that is, they do not store any information about the previous session. They work in complete isolation. So Flask RESTful is an extension for Flask that adds support for quickly building REST APIs, and it is lightweight abstraction that works with existing ORM and libraries. We have used Google Cloud Data Store as our database in the application. We'll be talking more about the database in further in the video. Also, we have used Google Cloud Engine Kubernetes to deploy our application. We'll be talking more about the Kubernetes and how our application has been deployed further in the video. Next, my teammate will be talking about a demo of the project.
Uh, so this is the dashboard of the application. We have provided an text box where the user can input the content they wanted to analyze. Let's take a content from a food review blog and input it in the text box. So we have provided three kind of an analysis. One is sentiment, toxic, and the category context of the content. For now, I'll choose all the three. So we'll be redirected to a new page where we can see all the reports for those categories. First is the context analysis. So from the content, the API has identified that it belongs to a food and drink restaurant pizzas, and it is a product review comparisons, and accordingly it assigns a score which is confidence. And also the sentiment. So the application runs through every single line in the content and identify whether it is a positive or a negative content and gives the score accordingly. The negative score of 40 and positive score of 90%. The toxic analysis. So since it is a food review content and there is no toxic language in it, and so the score is very, very less. I'll quickly walk you through the document, the system architecture. So we have actually created a GitHub live page and published it. So entire installation steps and the deployment step, everything can be found inside this document. Right. So what happens? The developer in the development phase, all the code reviews, commits happens in the directly to the GitHub. And whenever the GitHub receives a commit, it triggers an event to the Google Cloud Build via CI/CD pipeline. The Google Cloud Build is responsible for creating a Docker image and pushing it to the Google Container Registry. Both of these services are managed by Google. Whenever the Google Cloud the container registry gets an application, the cloud deploy will pull that particular image from the registry, and it will add an additional layer to bundle the application, which is adding the Kubernetes configuration, the service YAMLs, the deployment YAMLs, and such. So once the Kubernetes cluster is created and load balancing external IP is available via which our application can be accessed. So this a depth demonstration of this Kubernetes cluster, how it is created, will be covered later in the video. I'll quickly pass on to my teammate to brief you about the application.
So let's move on to application architecture. We are using Flask and follow RESTful API guidelines. And the basic CRUD operation which we use is create, read, update, and delete. And we are using four main HTTP methods to do this, such as get, put, post, and delete. Get retrieves the data from a specific URL from the backend, and put updates already created data uh, in the URL, and post is used to create a new resource which is assigned to a new URL for a new object and returns the same URL as a part of that message. And delete deletes a resource at a specific URL. And the external APIs which we have used is Google Natural Language API and external APIs known as Perspective API. So the reason behind using Google Natural Language API is it has a powerful tool such as syntactic analysis. Uh, so what syntactic analysis does is takes a whole paragraph and breaks down into a group of chunk of text, chunk of sentences, which further can be used for analysis, such as sentiment analysis. And the perspective API is used to find the toxicity level in our content. And there are many parameters which can be taken from perspective API, but the main attribute which we have taken is the flagship toxicity attribute from the perspective API. And we have used DCP to deploy our application, and we have used Cloud Data Store as our backend database because it is a NoSQL database and it handles sharding and replication with ease. And this data store provides various capabilities such as asset transactions and SQL queries, and it has many more features such as it has a high availability of reads and writes, and it has a massive scalability with high performance, and it can execute set of operations with either all succeed or none occur. So this property is known as atomic transaction, and it automatically encrypts all the data before it is written into the disk, and it automatically decrypts the specific data for in order to the user to read it, and it is fully managed with no planned downtime. And let's further go on to how to deploy it in Kubernetes, and my teammate will explain you that part.
Okay, so first we will be talking about a little bit about the code. So this is our requirements to txt file. All these requirements need to be installed in the system before running the project. Next, I'll talk about the model that we have used. So this is the model that will create the table and store the data that will be passing in our application and analyzing. So this document field is will be containing the text that will be passed by the user to be analyzed, and the other three fields are Boolean fields which will contain the value 0 or 1. Next is the create function. This create function will create a new row in the table corresponding to each of these fields. Next, we'll talk about the views.py file. We have two views, basically two APIs that we have created. First is the dashboard view API. It has two methods, get and post. So the get method is doing is it is just rendering the HTML page when the application is loaded. The post method is creating a new row in the database whenever a user uh, inputs the text in the text box and click on submit. So it will create a unique UUID for each entry in the table, and this using this UUID, the text will be fetched in the next text analyze view. So now Ashwin will be talking about the text analyze view.
In the class text analyze view, we are from the UUID, specific content is analyzed via this specific functions like sentiment, toxicity, and context. If the user wants to generate a specific report, they just can click the specific one, or if they want to um, generate all three reports, they can click all three and generate all the reports. Here, if the if, if the user clicks if the user clicks all three, then it will redirect to another page. Yashika, can you go to analyze.py? Here, the specific reports are generated using this specific functions, and the Kubernetes deployment will be explained by Nidhi.
Okay, so now we will be looking into the last part of our demonstration, that is load balancing and scaling of our application through GKE, that is the Google Kubernetes engine. Now we are doing the load balancing, that is efficiently distributing the network across the servers through the Kubernetes. Now this Kubernetes is a open source platform for maintaining and managing the workloads and services, and we are doing this through the Google infrastructure because it provides a very good managed environment for deploying, managing, and scaling the application. So we are going to deploy our application text analyzer on the Kubernetes cluster, and then after that, we'll expose our particular application to the outside network through a load balancer. Now, this means that if any request comes to our application, it actually comes through this load balancer. Now, we use this command gcloud build submit to build the container image for our application, and then this same command even pushes it to the container registry. As we can see it here, that in the container registry we have the container image for our application. Now along with this we have two files also. These two files are deployment.yaml and the services.yaml. Deployment.yaml, it contains the nodes and replica configuration for our project, and this services.yaml, it is just to like it gives us a point of entry to access the pods in our application. So we go to the Kubernetes engine, and here we create the Kubernetes cluster for our application. On this Kubernetes cluster, this has 3 nodes and the CPU and the memory disk usage, and then we have the workloads where we deploy our application onto this cluster. So we can see that the 3 different pods are running. Here the status as these 3 are running, we can see the CPU, memory, and the disk usage for 6 hours, 12 hours, and how much ever time it's running. Now we're going to expose this text analyzer application on the web. Like if we go to the endpoints of the external IP address, we can see that we get our application. So new service load balancer has been created with the address. Now our application is successfully exposed to the internet through this Google Kubernetes engine. Now if we want to increase the workload, we can go to the deployment file, and here we can change the number of replicas, like 2, 10, 15, based on our workload. So this will create as many pods as we want. Now we see, therefore we have used Kubernetes to automate our application, and we can like scale up or even scale down based on the workload for our application text analyzer. So that was about our whole cloud computing project. Thank you.